Yes. That's okay. Sir, good morning to you, sir. Hi. Sir, we are neighbors. So I was looking like this to see, and I said, "Oh, sir, you." So maybe you can tell everyone at the beginning. See, I think I want to wish something. I don't think we should stop it. Doesn't mind if my wish. I think the wish has many times. That's like I thought about it, but not my success and your plans. So it's not what that. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to each one of you. I would request everyone to please take your seats. Please take your seats and make yourself comfortable. For the benefit of wider audience, this session is also being live streamed on TRAI's YouTube channel. देख लो उस पे आएगा फिर धीरे से देखना। हाँ, अच्छा उन्होंने ब्लैक कर दिया, ठीक है।
स्पीक नहीं कर रहे हैं, पिक नहीं कर रहे हैं। अच्छा, तो उनका जो था रखो अपनी सॉरी रंजन बोस कहते थे, रंजन बोस साहब तो आए होंगे, नीलकांत मिश्रा साहब बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, रखना रखना है। हो सकता है कि उनके सबसे लास्ट में रख देना, ठीक है, क्योंकि ये जब रंगीलाला साहब पूछेंगे उसके बाद रखेंगे। नीलकंठ मिश्रा जी है ना? हाँ, अच्छा, चौधरी रंजन बोस डांगीराला के बाद कर देंगे। के बाद फिर ये होगा, फिर जाजू जी का भी नहीं आ रहा है, क्रॉसी हो गया, सेक्रेटरी का चेयर है, नहीं आ रहा, हाँ, उसके बाद की जगह पे रिप्लेस करो नीलकंठ मिश्रा जी को, है ना? डेस्कटॉप पे रखिए, डेस्कटॉप पे भी फाइल, डेस्कटॉप पे फोल्डर हम आपको खोल के देंगे। मतलब तीन में से कौन सा कोई दिक्कत नहीं। पहले सर डेस्कटॉप पे आपके नाम से हमने टेक्निकल सेशन बन के आपके नाम से आपके पीपीटी रेफरेंस पे दिक्कत हो सर, हम नया है फोटो खींच के दिन स्क्रीन से बंद हो गई है, वापस से नहीं ऐसी फोटो खींच रहे हाथ से करेंगे तो ये भी तो करना है। कहते सर डेस्कटॉप पे सिर्फ एक ही फोल्डर है, दूसरी फोल्डर में आपकी पीपीटी है आपके नाम से। I would request everyone to please take your seats. We are going to start the inaugural shortly. Please keep your mobile phones on silent mode. Mishra. Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to TRAI. I request the honorable dignitaries to please take your seats on the dais. It's our honor to respectfully welcome Shri Anil Kumar Lahoti, Chairperson TRAI, Shri Ritu Ranjan Mittar, Member TRAI, Dr. M.P. Tangirala, Member TRAI, and Professor Ranjan Bose, Part-time Member TRAI. Please welcome our dignitaries. On behalf of TRAI, I extend a warm welcome to the esteemed dignitaries, distinguished session speakers, experts from telecom and broadcasting, members of media, regional offices of TRAI, and all those who are connected virtually. आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन. Today, we have come together to celebrate the foundation of TRAI as TRAI Day, marking the establishment of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India on 20th February 1997 by an Act of Parliament. As we observe this occasion today, we acknowledge TRAI's remarkable journey over the past 3 decades, which has transformed India's telecommunication sector by promoting transparency, enabling fair competition, and providing affordable and inclusive connectivity, impacting millions of lives across the nation. TRAI Day is not just a celebration of an organization, but a journey of shared joy, one of connectivity, innovation, trust, and progress. To mark the beginning of this event, let us seek divine blessings of Lord by lighting the lamp. May I now request the dignitaries on the dais to formally inaugurate the event by lighting the ceremonial lamp.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वे भवन्तु भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु.
Thank you, sirs. Now, I invite Shri Atul Kumar Chaudhary, Secretary TRAI, to deliver the welcome address.
Respected Chairperson, TRAI Sri Anil Kumar Lahoti sir, Member TRAI Sri R.R. Mittal sir, Dr. M.B. Tangirala, Professor Ranjan Bose, and Professor Sri Neelkan Misra is on the way. He is just joining within 5-10 minutes. Distinguished speakers, senior officers, friend from telecom and broadcasting industry, representative of print and visual media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to everyone. It's my privilege to welcome you all on this 29th TRAI Foundation Day celebration, a day that marks the establishment of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India and reaffirm our commitment to the orderly, inclusive, and transparent development of communication and broadcasting sector. When TRAI was established on February 20, 1997, India was at the crossroad. We were moving from a government-led system to a privatized competitive market. The entry of private service providers brought with it the inevitable need of an independent regulator. TRAI was given a monumental task to ensure fair play, protect consumers, and nurture an industry that was still in its fancy. Over the decades, communication sector has undergone a remarkable transformation from early days of 2G to the lightning speed of 5G and the upcoming 6G era. TRAI has been the navigator of the digital pathway. Throughout this journey, regulations of TRAI have played an important role in ensuring the growth that remains balanced, competitive, and consumer interests are protected. Probably you will all agree with me that the television still continues to remain a central pillar of India's media ecosystem. Despite the rapid rise of digital platform, it remains the most widely accessed medium across the country. For millions of households, particularly in rural and semi-urban areas, it continues to be a primary source of information, education, and public awareness. Ensuring that television service reaches every home, it is therefore integral to the broader objective of social inclusion. At the same time, the telecom landscape is evolving rapidly with the introduction of advanced network capabilities. Technologies such as network slicing are enabling customer services for enterprises, public services, and critical infrastructures. As these innovations are adopted, it is important that they are implemented in a manner that is inclusive, openness of public internet, and uphold the principle of net neutrality. Platforms such as TRAI Day provide an opportunity for meaningful dialogue among stakeholders on these critical and important issues. Therefore, just after the inaugural session, we are going to have two technical sessions, namely, first one is taking TV to all homes, policy, technology, and business strategies for inclusion. And the second one is network slicing and net neutrality. I am confident that the discussion today will enrich our understanding and support informed decision making as we move forward. We are grateful to the presence of all the dignitaries and participants for their valuable time and contribution which they are going to make in upcoming technical session. I once again extend a warm welcome to all of you on this occasion and wish the event a productive and successful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Secretary Sir, for your insightful and warm welcome address. Next, I have the privilege to invite Professor Ranjan Bose, part-time member TRAI, to address the gathering.
A very good morning to all of you. It's really a very joyous moment for us to celebrate this 29th Foundation Day of TRAI. In 1997, when TRAI set out to accomplish some of the very important tasks, it ended up reshaping the telecom landscape of this country. In fact, the terms that we use here in terms of creating a level playing ground, protecting the rights of the consumers, creating fair competition, encouraging innovation, they serve a lot more than meets the eye. And TRAI has been pivotal in ensuring that all this happens. Because if we are trying to look for a Viksit Bharat,
most brats, including, most humans, I feel the same way, is that, oh, this is a problem, let me go and do it right now. That generally you'll realize at a very senior level, running large organizations, controlling large markets, is the wrong instinct. It is about, it's like, I work as an economist, so there's a parallel which is from banking. If the return on equity, if the profits of banks are too high, what that means is that the cost of intermediation, so savings going to investments, there is a lot of friction. So there's someone in the middle who's making too much money. How do you solve for that? And I have seen people in the regulatory bodies trying to control that by increasing the cost of deposits, making liquidity tight, slowing down the economy. The right solution, which is now being applied, is to allow more competition to come in. That if the returns are high, more people want to invest in banking, and that then brings down the cost of intermediation. So these are mechanisms that I think are something that I think come naturally to TRAI, and I hope and wish that we see more and more of this going forward. I also expect, I would love to see more partnerships. So I can give you an example from Aadhaar. We have understood that all the innovation need not come from Aadhaar itself. So what we have now enabled are sandboxes. So if someone wants to use privacy protected data to build solutions which can help solve some of our problems and then maybe roll them out as an Indian product globally, we are enabling that. We are even beginning to fund startups which want to actually invest in these solutions. Because this is an acknowledgement that while we have the responsibility of securing the data, keeping it high quality, making it available when asked, it is also a limitation that all the innovation that can come out of that data cannot be done by us. So I think viewing ourselves as partners to the ecosystem, I think will help everyone. For example, I don't know if you're aware, MOSPI has now set up a model context protocol server, MCP server. So you can actually query statistical data about India in simple text. So you don't need to go and download Excel sheets and do a lot of processing. You can just ask the data, and then there's a separate AI engine. There is a MCP server which taps into the. So there's no compromise. There's no. It's not that Indian statistical data is being made available to AI engines, but the MCP server allows. So these are innovations which I think can help the industry, other policymakers, other government departments engage much better. So given that technology, compute, data centers, I think are all going to be the buzzwords in the next 5-7 years. I'm sure our hands will be full, and I'm sure there will be many opportunities for TRAI to continue reshaping India's destiny. So thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Mishra sir, for bringing out the major achievements of TRAI and throwing light on the upcoming capabilities and challenges in the evolving digital landscape. Now, I invite Shri Rituranjan Mitterji, member TRAI, to address this August gathering.
Thank you. Respected chairperson, members of the authority, stakeholders, TRAI colleagues, happy birthday, TRAI, first of all. I would like to take you down the memory lane because I was part of the department when the TRAI came into being. And honestly, initially it appeared as there was already a ministry and another body looking at you, how you work and what you do. It was looking a bit of a intrusion because you're not used to being controlled so much. But and another honestly word which or a phrase which really troubled the operators was, or at least the BSNL, though the BSNL came into being, is the level playing field, because this was the phrase when it was used, and sometimes one felt that it is not used fairly. But anyway, that is. But now that having seen the development in the telecom sector, the development in the growth of the number of subscribers, the type of services that we have. So one can appreciate how much important this level playing field is. We used to have something called, because GOT was the operator, BSL was not there, something called National Routing Plan, National Switching Plan. And I remember there used to be a request from DOT, I was in TEC then, that these plans should be reworked. So we used to tell that now there is nothing like national routing plan, national switching plan. It is the TRAI, the operator decides their own routing. The operator decides how do they want to take the traffic. And the TRAI then decides as part of the interconnect handover regime where the traffic, which traffic has to be handed over. So I remember it took a lot of time to really appreciate that there is nothing like in the old the documents, what is called the national plans, so as to say. But another thing which I would fondly remember, of course, it was prior to TRAI, is the first mobile call. So I remember that the billing in those days, now we make the tickets and the tickets are post-processed. But in those good old days, the billing or the customer also used to be billed by a meter, a software meter if in the later ages. So that used to increment. And when the calls were to be handed from one operator to the other, so it was kind of unthinkable that how this interconnect billing will be done. And then the feature came of that the bill should be, the meter should be attached to the trunks, so that when the traffic is handed over or taken, those counts should be maintained. And I vividly remember that this feature was specifically tested before the first interconnect call between the Honorable Communication Minister and the Honorable then Chief Minister of West Bengal was allowed to be made. But those are good days, but a lot of water has flown, and now we must be wary of the new things that are at our door. One is the challenges on the quantum part. Mr. Mishra, a part-time member, illustrated the use of AI, how it is going to be used by clicking on this. So the telecom sector is also, I'm sure, our operators and OEMs are working hard to really see. And as far as TRAI expects is that it should help in network optimization. It should lead to a improved quality of service and other customer benefits. That is what is our primary responsibilities. So though many technological changes have come, but this is not the end. Many changes are about to come, and we look forward, and together with our stakeholders and the consultative process we have, I think we collectively will be able to take the sector to a greater heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitra sir, for sharing your inspiring thoughts and reflecting the journey transforming Indian telecommunication landscape. I now have the honor and privilege to invite Shri Anil Kumar Lahoti, Chairperson TRAI, to deliver the opening address.
Good morning, everyone, and my best wishes on this TRAI Foundation Day to all our stakeholders and to all the members of Team TRAI. As Dr. Tangirala and others mentioned, TRAI came into being by way of an ordinance on 20th February 1997, which was later ratified by an act of the Parliament, the TRAI Act 1997. The genesis was the economic liberalization of 1990s, the WTO negotiations, where the insistence was on establishing an interconnection regime without which the private sector couldn't have come and played a role in telecommunication, because the telecommunication was historically a government service completely owned by the government or operated by the public sector operators, and the need of a strong independent regulator. There were two another landmark events: the Supreme Court judgment of 1995 in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting versus Cricket Association of Bengal, where the Supreme Court directed the central government to establish an independent autonomous public authority to control and regulate the use of airwaves. Another was 1996 judgment in the Delhi Science Forum and others versus Union of India, where the Supreme Court emphasized existence of a telecom regulatory authority with appropriate powers essential for introduction of plurality in the telecom sector and to harness the individual appetite for private gains for social ends. There was another landmark judgment of Delhi High Court of December 2003, which whereafter a notification was issued by the central government in 2004, bringing transmission of broadcasting services, including cable TV, under the ambit of TRAI. If I have to state the role of TRAI in the entire sector, I would like to recall the preamble of TRAI Act. It beautifully captures the role of TRAI to regulate the telecommunication services and to protect the interests of service providers and consumers of telecom sector, to promote and ensure orderly growth of the telecom sector and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. This, in few words, states the whole purpose of existence of TRAI. The strength of TRAI lies, as Dr. Tangirala spelled out so eloquently, in its strong, transparent, consultative process. Every issue or the reference that we deal with requiring either policy recommendations or regulations, it undergoes a detailed research by a handful of talented TRAI officers and employees who research on the historical evolution, the technological developments, international practices, and carry out pre-consultation with the entire spectrum of stakeholders, including technology developers and service providers. Then comes out a detailed consultation paper on which we receive comments, counter comments, followed by open house discussion. And we get extensive participation by the stakeholders in the TRAI consultative process. Those are very spirited and very insightful. Sometimes, and the comments we receive sometimes run into hundreds of pages with 360-degree critical views on the subject, which gives a very detailed insight. And each comment, as many of you know, is critically examined in TRAI, commented upon, and then the recommendations are released, accompanied with a detailed analysis. And when we issue a regulation, it is accompanied with a explanatory memorandum. So these are the hallmarks of transparency, and these are often cited by many people come and tell me that these are the gold standards of consultative process in the country. And it's a matter of pride that TRAI's consultation papers, recommendations, and regulations are widely referred to internationally whenever we go to international conferences. In the 29 years of history, TRAI has played a stellar role in the shaping and enabling of growth of telecom and broadcasting sectors in the economy and in the country. As I said, interconnection was foundational to enable the growth of private sector. The interconnection TRAI has had an extensive work has been done in TRAI, including interconnection usage charges regimes. The shift from fixed license fee to revenue share model, some of you present here would call, was also TRAI played a important role in that. And then subsequently, almost 10 years ago, TRAI came out with recommendations on the AGR reforms, which eventually were implemented by government. We have a very long history of the telecom tariff orders, which keep evolving time to time. And as Dr. Tangirala mentioned, it started with collecting cost data from the service providers, and now the sector has evolved to a maturity that we are in a regime where there is almost tariff forbearance subject to certain accountability by the service providers. And the introduction of calling party pay regime itself, I think, was another landmark event which significantly changed the telecom scenario. I would also, in the context of mobile communication, I think mobile number portability also played a very, very significant role. Today, you can change your mobile number across licensed service areas and across service providers. A mobile number has become almost like a identity of a person. Chairman UIDI is sitting here. So it's another identity that now today a person carry. This would not have been possible without the mobile number portability. If you look at the broadband, we have the BharatNet. When it was conceptualized, there was a recommendation on National Optical Fiber Network by TRAI and also on National Broadband Plan. If you look at the broadcasting sector, the television audience measurement system came out with the recommendation of TRAI in 2013. The digitalization of cable TV carriage and the digitally addressable systems were again out of TRAI's recommendations and subsequent regulation. Infrastructure sharing among the DPOs in the broadcasting sector. So these were some of the landmark changes which took place in the broadcasting sector. If we look at our entire digital space, net neutrality in India is an important, the way we have implemented is often cited internationally, and the prohibition of discriminatory tariffs for data services and the recommendations on net neutrality played an important role in this direction. Another, I think, very important contribution of TRAI was the introduction of distributed ledger blockchain technology in management of the commercial communication. And probably when it was brought in, it was probably the first time anywhere in the world that such a system was introduced. The result of all these efforts put in by the extensive stakeholder engagement and the hard work put in by the TRAI members is that today we have a base of more than 130 crore subscribers of telecommunication, more than 1 billion broadband users. The data consumption is of the order of 20,000 petabytes in terms of the fixed broadband and over 26,000 petabytes in terms of mobile broadband. If we look at the broadcasting sectors, we have nearly 340 broadcasters today working in the country, providing broadcasting. Nearly 774 MSOs, 4 direct-to-home service providers, 1 hit service providers, and IPTV is another thing which is now becoming, contemporary and also growing, where 70 IPTV service providers are there, and there are, of course, thousands of local cable operators, all, having their business with time to time contributions made by TRAI in this regard. In the recent past, some of the, I think the last 2 years, 1 to 2 years have seen TRAI touching almost every aspect of regulation in the telecom sector. So if the new Telecommunication Act came in December 23, and this has led to a complete overhaul of the licensing framework, both in the telecommunication and the broadcasting. So almost 35 licenses or guidelines were which had been promulgated over last 3 decades, were comprehensively reviewed by TRAI during this process, and a simplified architecture for authorization has been proposed to the government. The central theme of the entire exercise was ease of doing business and rationalization. Another important recent work by TRAI was in respect of quality of service, where all the decades-old frameworks of quality regulation were reviewed, and we came out with a unified regulation for quality of service, which is operating quite effectively, and with a unique provision for a glide path, where the service providers have been given 2 to 3 years of time with milestones to improve their services. Another, I think, recent important initiative was regarding the rating of properties for digital connectivity. As all of us have experienced that indoor connectivity is becoming a problem, particularly for data services, high speed and high quantity data services. So this rating framework has been put in, a manual has been put in, and we are finding significant interest coming from different corners, like the University Grants Commission, the Reserve Bank of India. Several states have taken note of this and they have started working on it. The machine-to-machine communication, Internet of Things, that is the future. On that, almost 4 to 5 recommendations were released in last 1 to 2 years by TRAI, which will enable a very robust ecosystem for machine-to-machine communication in the country. On the broadcasting side, our recent revamping of the audit framework was an important exercise which will change the way audits are conducted in the broadcasting services. Ground-based broadcasting is the need of the hour. We have given a detailed recommendation on that, which is under consideration. Digital radio recommendations have been given for laying out a policy and rolling out the digital radio services. And to facilitate innovation, new services, there is a detailed recommendation given by TRAI on regulatory sandbox. Artificial intelligence is something which is now there everywhere. We are happy and proud to note that our service providers have already utilized artificial intelligence in detection of spam and are already extensively using it in network management. TRAI had given its recommendations on leveraging AI and big data in telecommunication sector in 2023. Already, that was almost 3 years back. But now is the time that we start using AI big way within the working of the TRAI itself. Already our teams are exploring, and we welcome all the suggestions from all stakeholders in this regard, how best we can use AI within TRAI. The agenda on our hands are full with a lot of issues that we have to deal for the sector. This includes our extensive consultation on interconnection, where we are reviewing almost 9 regulations promulgated over last 3 decades for the regulation of interconnection. That's an extensive exercise. We will also be coming up with a consultation soon on satellite communication networks. We are already working on a consultation for fast services, which are increasingly being made available for delivery of broadcasting. The review of broadcasting regulation is the ask of the industry. So to enable the industry for better delivery of services, that is another work in hand with TRAI. We are also looking at our robustness of our consumer grievance redressal so that the service providers are able to handle the consumer grievances in a way that the consumer satisfaction level improves overall. We are also in the process of complete revamping of our IT system to make it state of art. Many of you are aware the way information flows in TRAI over the years. It has undergone incremental improvements, but we are now having a look for a holistic revamp of the IT system, I think, which will provide a lot of automation and rationalization and much more better experience to the stakeholders with respect to the data that is maintained by TRAI. We are also actively engaged on the digital consent acquisition rollout with the banking sector, and there has been a successful rollout with the help of the telecom service providers and 11 prominent banks of the country. So these are some of the important agenda on hand, and before I end, I must once again compliment the extensive effort put in by the members of Team TRAI in all the work that has been done over the years, to which all of you are witness, and the constructive engagement that we receive from all our stakeholders in this journey of the growth of digital economy in the country. And we remain committed to the orderly growth of the telecommunication and broadcasting sectors in the country. We are committed to enable fair competition, a level playing field where the smallest player is able to enter into business, the entry barriers are low, and is able to grow. We are committed to keep the services affordable and to have transparent tariff regime so that the consumers can avail the services confidently, and above all, uh, protection of the consumer in this entire ecosystem. With this, I once again wish all the best to all the stakeholders and members of Team TRAI on this TRAI Foundation Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, sir, for highlighting the key milestones achieved by TRAI in these many years and the upcoming works being taken up now. Sir, your inspiring words and visionary leadership will keep steering the telecom and broadcasting sectors towards sustainable growth and innovation. Thank you once again, sir, for your motivation and guidance. A big round of applause for his address. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the most awaited address of this morning. Shri Jyotiradit Scindia Ji, Honorable Minister of Communications and Development of Northeastern Region, is delivering his inaugural address through a video message.
Congratulations to TRAI on its 29th Foundation Day, an institution that has become the bedrock and pillar of ensuring fair and principled dispersion of communication across the length and breadth of India's landscape. Founded close to about 29 years ago, today plays a very pivotal role in ensuring communication links across 140 crore Indians across the length and breadth of India. Today's Foundation Day also has a wonderful session based on network slicing. TRAI's ambit is extremely wide as it is deep. The principle of fairness, the principle of equity, the principle of being the regulatory body that ensures a level playing field, all these principles lie in the domain of the TRAI. And the TRAI has done a yeoman's job of ensuring that connectivity across various possible medium, whether it be fixed line, whether it be mobile, whether it be OFC, VSAT, satellite, across the board, is reached as a bouquet of services to every single citizen across the length and breadth of our country. There is a tremendous amount of hard work, perseverance, due diligence, looking at the international regulatory environment, application of what is key and fair from an Indian perspective. All of these are put through a sieve out of which a distillation of fair, equitable principles is derived by TRAI. I congratulate TRAI on its Foundation Day. I also have great hopes from the session on network slicing as we employ and deploy new technologies. The world of communication is changing rapidly as we have expanded from 4G to 5G to 6G. The advent of AI and every perceived scientific advancement on this vast yet invisible carriageway of communications will provide new opportunities for every single citizen to be able to put their indelible stamp on the global landscape. TRAI puts in place the guardrails for that, puts in place the level playing field for that. And on this Foundation Day, I congratulate each and every one of my family members of TRAI and wish them the very best in terms of pushing ahead and pushing the new frontiers of telecommunications. And now, as they say, being on the edge, new and the cusp of new technologies to be able to be brought into India. So congratulations once again and all the very best. Thank you.
A heartfelt thanks to Honorable Minister for his visionary leadership and inspiring address. His guidance and motivation will continue to energize and inspire all the stakeholders as we move forward with renewed commitment and purpose. To formally conclude this inaugural session, I would now invite Shri Ashok Kumar Jha, Principal Advisor TRAI, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning. Very warm welcome on a TRAI day on which TRAI was formed. It's our pleasure, pride and privilege to be among all the top dignitaries who are over here today in this session and who will continue to be there. It's a remarkable achievement for us that such large number of people with a huge knowledge, huge execution, and huge planning experience have gathered together and trying to make a difference on this very TRAI day. It's a time to say thank you to all the people who have come, and especially I would like to thank our respected Honorable Minister who just delivered his address to all of us, a very inspiring message from him. I also thank our respected Chairperson, Sri Anil Kumar Lahoti, who delivered a marvelous message and gave the details, plans, and the future path that he could carve out. I am also thankful to Sri R.R. Mittal, member who has delivered the key aspects of how it happened, when it started, and when the first calls were made. I am thankful to Dr. M.P. Tangirala, who has given all the details about TRAI Day and about other aspects related with our day-to-day functioning. We are also thankful to Sri Ranjan Bose, who has delivered a very key address on this aspect and inspired us with his very kind words. And I am also thankful to Sri Nilkanth Mishra, who gave the future digital data, fetching of data, and all those details which will make the new India so successful. I must thank all the dignitaries from the industry, from different associations who have assembled here to be with us on this momentous day. I am also thankful to all the TSPs and the representatives in the form of regulatory and other representatives who have come here. And most of all the audience from TRAI, press, and industry who have come here to make it a big success on this day. My thanks also goes to all the staff, officers who have contributed immensely in the past around 10 to 15 days, maybe, or more than that, to make this program a very big success. We are looking forward to a great day today because it's TRAI day, and we'll be having more and more of enjoyment on this day in terms of intellectual discourse and so many other such things which will come up in due course. I am sorry if I might have forgotten a few names to take, but we are equally thankful to all of you who have their heart and soul at this place. Some of them could not come here. I could not take their name, but they made their best effort because Parliament had called them, and suddenly there was a vote on grants, and that's why many people had to last moment otherwise there were a lot of confirmations, but grant and budget is such thing that we cannot escape, and people had to go there. Last but not the least, a very warm welcome to all of you. Thanks to all of you. Let us make it a big day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, Jha sir, for your vote of thanks. With this, we conclude the inaugural session of TRAI Day. May I now request the dignitaries on the dais and the principal advisors of TRAI to please come forward for a group photograph. चिंता मत करो, कर रहा है। Thank you, dignitaries. On behalf of TRAI, I extend our deepest gratitude to each one of you for gracing TRAI Day with your presence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will shortly proceed with our technical sessions, the next segment of the program. Please remain seated and enjoy this TRAI Day video. I now hand over the podium to my colleague, Ms. Sapna Sharma.
In 1997, getting a phone connection meant waiting. Today, over 1.3 billion connections power India's digital life. From governance to enterprise, Telecom has become the invisible engine of national transformation. Over 29 years, TRAI has helped shape this journey, from access to empowerment. Telecom is no longer a sector, it is national infrastructure. Over 1 billion broadband subscriptions reflect a country that lives, works, and transacts online. Built on consultation and transparency, India's regulatory framework has earned global recognition. Affordable data, among the lowest globally, unlocked digital payments, telemedicine, and online education at scale. Monthly digital transactions now run into billions. Connectivity did not just link people, it expanded opportunity across India. When a citizen switches operators without changing their number, competition works. Over 1.19 billion porting requests reflect empowered choice. Strengthened quality benchmarks and transparent monitoring ensure networks improve consistently. As digital adoption grew, so did digital risks. The 1600 series now helps citizens clearly identify verified financial calls. A secure digital consent framework replaces unverifiable permissions with traceable digital approvals. The revamped DND app simplifies spam reporting, while MySpeed enables real-world network measurement. And with the digital connectivity rating framework, buildings are now assessed for digital readiness, encouraging connectivity-ready infrastructure from the planning stage itself. Since its launch, 5G has expanded rapidly across hundreds of districts. It is powering smart manufacturing, connected healthcare, and precision agriculture. Connectivity is shaping the next phase of India's industrial growth. In broadcasting, over 900 private satellite channels reflect diversity in scale. Addressable systems strengthen transparency and viewer choice. Telecom and broadcasting now operate as converged ecosystems. As India prepares for 6G research and global standards, regulatory stability becomes critical. In broadcasting, AI will revolutionize content creation and distribution. TRAI's role remains constant, enabling innovation, protecting consumers, and ensuring fair competition. 29 years. Connected, secure, future-ready.
I once again extend a warm welcome to all of you. After a very insightful inaugural session, let's begin with the technical session. The first technical session will deliberate on taking TV to all homes. This session will focus on the policy frameworks, technological innovations, and business strategies needed to ensure inclusive and equitable access to television services across the country, with particular emphasis on underserved and remote regions. For the first session, I would request our esteemed session speakers present here to kindly take their seats on the dais. I would like to welcome the moderator of the session, Shri A.K. Jhaji, Principal Advisor TRAI, a distinguished expert with extensive experience in broadcasting and cable services sector, telecom sector, operations, development, testing and certification. Shri Prabhatji, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, who is presently overseeing key aspects of the radio and television broadcasting sector and has consistently advocated digital convergence and collaborative growth in the broadcasting ecosystem. Shri Padma Kumarji, Chief Operating Officer, Kerala Communications Cable Limited and Kerala Vision Broadband Limited, a seasoned industry leader with over 3 decades of experience in the cable television and broadband sector, driving expansion, innovation, and operational excellence. Professor Vishwanath Pinangli ji from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, an eminent economist with expertise in digital markets and competition policy, whose research has contributed significantly to policy and regulatory discourse. Thank you, speakers, for accepting our invitation and gracing this technical session with your kind presence. I now hand over to Shri A.K. Jhaji to begin the session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. As we know, we are going to have this particular session on TV taking TV to all the homes and what are the business and strategy solutions. It's our pleasure and privilege that we are sitting amongst the most intellectual, resourceful, and executioners of the day today. And it's my privilege also to be there as a moderator. So, with the kind permission, we will like to start the proceedings and take my seat. First, I will like to introduce the speakers that we have today. On my right is Mr. Prabhat. He is Additional Secretary in the MIB. On my left is Professor Pingla. He is a professor in IIM Ahmedabad. And further left is Mr. Padma Kumar, who is heading the KCCL, that is an organization to roll out the TV as well as the broadband and cable TV in Kerala. So we have got from three diverse fields, one academician and executioner, and then government policy and the who can make it all that can make a difference. So without wasting time, I will tell you how we will proceed. First, all the speakers will give maybe around 8 minutes of presentation in which they will tell their views. That will be immediately, each speaker will be followed by one or two questions from my side, which they will answer to further enrich the discussion. And when all are done, then we'll have some cross questioning among them, and then floor will be open to audience. All this will be done in a sharp time of 45 minutes. So without wasting any time, I would first request Mr. Padma Kumar, Mr. Pingla, who will show the hope why we have discussed, and he is the harbinger of hope because he believes that TV will be there by 2013 large numbers. So let's hear from Mr. Pingla how he has that hope and how he will achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Should I stand there? Probably do that. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's indeed a pleasure and honor to be here. And Ashokji, thank you for your kind invitation. Just by the way of introduction, I'm a professor at IIM Ahmedabad, and I do a lot of work on data analytics, and I also work a lot on digital markets. So, I mean, the title of this is a fairly evocative one, especially in the sense that the common wisdom that keeps, the common folklore keeps telling us that TV is dead and nobody's watching TV anymore, etc., etc., etc. But, I also work a lot on financial inclusion at some point in time, and I actually realized that in several parts of India, TV continues to be aspirational. And I did not see on the ground this logic that TV was dying. So therefore, we thought we would get some data from various places, including TRAI and the census data, etc., to actually figure out whether there's a truth in this story or not. Make sense? And I think the way we are looking at it is we've looked at the data on TV audience in various states of the country over the last 10 years. That gives us a sizable amount of data to work with. And we thought, what are the factors that would influence TV audience? One, obviously, internet subscribers, TRI data. Internet subscribers because, well, of course, TV becomes more watchable if there is more internet available and more technologies available. And further, internet subscribers also proxies several of the other interesting aspects of increase in gross state domestic product. The TV audience roughly goes up by 30 lakh viewers, but that's not a statistically significant number. And I'd like you to remember this particular fact because I'm going to tie it up with an interesting story that we are trying to tell you. A 1% increase in dependency ratio for sure increases TV audience significantly, and so does literacy rate. An interesting argument that we almost choked when we saw the results was when income levels are increasing, apparently TV growth is there, but not really serious. But then when we actually ended up talking about rural India, we've only done the regression for rural India with rural state GDP and all that stuff. Here is where you'll see something interesting. When the rural income increases by 1 lakh rupees, TV audience goes up by 17 lakh rupees. And this result, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very, very robust. We've tried several alternative mechanisms and we found that this result remains super solid. We've also gone on to think about another interesting model that we constructed where we said, let's take the states who are below the national per capita income, whose state per capita income is below the national per capita income. And here too, you'll actually see that 1 lakh increase in the GDP of these states with lower per capita income, the TV audience is increasing by roughly 24 million. Now, here is an interesting thing that we'll come across. At an India level, income doesn't seem to make sense. But in rural India and in states which have lower income, income seems to make a huge difference. In other words, there's only one thing I can say. If in Delhi or a Hyderabad or a Kolkata or a Chennai or a Bangalore, if income level or Ahmedabad, if the income levels grow up, I don't think you're going to see any further penetration of TV. But in the rest of the country, which is characterized by a significant amount of rural areas, which is characterized by by lower income, when the income levels grow up, TV audience is increasing significantly. The other interesting factor that I found from our study is this. India is reaping a lot of demographic dividend right now with the average age close to 30. But I think we are going to age. We really are going to age. So that essentially means that our dependency ratio is increasing. As the dependency ratio keeps increasing, you're going to see penetration of TV significantly in the country. So therefore, I think to say that the TV is dead and that everyone's going to watch from only mobile phones, I think is a little bit of a premature conclusion as I see it. I mean, further interesting argument that I see is literacy is improving in India leaps and bounds. And every time a literacy increases in the country, you're going to see penetration of TV. I mean, our prediction, and I would like to stress on the fact that this is very, very, very conservative in every sense of the word. Our prediction would be by 2030, we would roughly see 1 billion TV watchers in the country at the minimum. Assuming a ratio of around 3 people per TV, you're talking about 330 million TV sets. I mean, I teach a course on game theory at IIM Ahmedabad with a lot of exchange students from Europe. And here's the surprising thing. I just tell them this number and I tell them this is a single country that is giving you this number. And this is entire Europe combined multiplied by a factor. That is the number that you're talking about. So therefore, if you're talking about the future of TV, the future of TV is here for sure. And I really do not think that the TV is dead. And the story that entire TV is shifting to mobile phones. So therefore, let's write the final eulogy for TV, I think is a little bit of a premature statement in every sense of the word. I'll stop here. Happy to take further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Please be there for 2-3 minutes more.
Sure.
As I complete my 1 or 2 questions, and then you can come back to your seat, sir. So it's a wonderful to hear. As I told that he is giving us the hope that TV will continue and it will increase rather based on the 3 things that rural demand is there, GDP growth is there, and dependency ratio is increasing. And all these 3 factors combined together give us a feel. And if it truly happens, it is great that TV will rise. But sir, I would like to have your views on one important thing. What are your thoughts in the growth of linear TV, especially in the context of the streaming and OTT platforms? The question which is universally being asked in India, and there is a lot of competition from there. As you know, that the demand of the proportion of digital media has increased a lot, and revenue also has increased from there. So how do you expect that this will grow, sir?
Thank you very much. First of all, I must admit that this is economists' view. So economists tend to give a lot of hope on several times, and the hope is also rightly placed and misplaced equal number of times as well. So therefore, let's take the hope part of it with that. But having said that, I mean, our views typically are shaped by people that we see around us. And that is where the bias creeps in what we believe and what we don't believe in. Now, the argument that I'm seeing is when you're talking about the source of growth to be coming from rural India and the poorer India, let me choose my words very carefully, poorer India, then I'll also assume that the initial growth of linear TV will be there. I mean, I agree that TV is growing. Significant market share might be captured by the connected TV. I have no problem about that. But to say that linear TV will degrow is also an equally premature statement, in my opinion. But this is not something that we're able to prove with data. I think the hope of presenting this paper is that somebody somewhere will look at it and tell us, here is a data, now estimate that part of it as well. It's more with a hope. But having said that, I think my anecdotal evidence suggests that, yes, a significant part of the growth is going to be captured by smart TV. There's no doubt about it. But yes, linear TV will also grow, albeit probably relatively slowly. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much, sir. I will
Thank
request you to kindly take your seat.
Thank you.
And now I will request Sri Padma Kumar from KCCL to please present his views. And as I said, he is an executioner. I have labeled him as an executioner, please, because he has been providing actively the broadband connections, and TVs are being given this thing through broadband, most of it. So, Mr. Padma Kumar, please take over.
Good morning. Hello. Hello, distinguished TRAI members, reputed personalities from the industry, policymakers, and my dear friends. Actually, this is a great extraordinary privilege for me to attend this function representing a company named KCCL, which is operating in a small state of Kerala. So it is, I think, a very great privilege. I expressing my sincere thank to TRAI for inviting for this function. So, as our professor explained, he given a very positive picture for returning TV to the homes. A very good projection that 1 billion connection, TV homes will be achieved by 2030. It's a very good projection. But actually, there are so many challenges in the industry to retain the existing cable TV connections and to achieve this objective. Actually, as everybody know, our TV dark homes is reaching around 140 million in India. So that is how we will ensure TV in that big segment. That is a challenge. And also, one side, our pay TV subscribers are declining. We lost 40 million subscribers for the last 5 years. So there is a huge challenges in front of us. That is my opinion. So the main challenge is the lack of FTTH penetration. That is the main challenge to achieve this TV availability. And also our customer subscription should be attractive to do it as a mass product. And cable TV and this IPTV, OTT are operating in parallel. Definitely there should be convergence in regulation and technology. Then only we can achieve this objective. And the main strategies to ensure this is to one is the IPTV promotion. That is very important. And also the seamless switch between OTT and the linear channel. There should be a hybrid system that customers should ensure both, that is linear TV. The people should see both contents, linear and OTT, and then TV will be there. We can retain the TV consumption. And also the TV viewing experience is very important because we have to change the way of seeing and enjoying TV. For that, definitely the government can use artificial intelligence support definitely it will ensure the TV's existence. And the disaster emergency alerts and the educational broadcasting, these type of things will ensure that people will watch TV to get this information from government. KCCL actually is a unique business model in Kerala. It is operated by around 6,000 operators. It is promoted by them. It is managed by them. And because of this unique model, the KCCL within a short span of time, we reached as the 4th largest MSO in India. And we reached as the 6th largest ISP in India and 2nd largest rural broadband provider in India. This is because of its unique business model. We achieved this tremendous growth competing with big companies and corporate multinational companies. This is our business model. There is MSO, distributors, sub-distributors, local cable operators, and the subscribers. We are reaching to the subscribers through this channel. It is a cost-effective model. That is why our revenue is increasing year to year. You see, in 2021, our revenue was 436 crores. It reached to 1,000 crores during 2025. Within 5 years, our revenue has crossed, and now we became a 1,000 crore company operating only in Kerala. And you can see our cable TV growth. That is from 22 lakhs, our connection has reached to 26 plus lakhs in 2020, while all India level cable TV connection is coming down. So in KCCL alone achieved this tremendous growth in connection. Broadband connection also. Parallelly, we have a company, broadband company, that is KBBL. That company's broadband from 2022, we achieved a tremendous growth in connection. That is from 5 lakhs, we achieved the 13 lakhs connection, and we became the 6th largest ISP in India and 5th largest FTTH broadband provider in India. See, our strategy to retain cable TV is only we are giving the best service in the last mile using cable operators. And our channel packaging system and pricing system is very attractive. And we are giving combo offers along with our broadband. That is cable TV, broadband, OTT. As a combo offer we are giving, so the customer will continue to view TV along with the broadband. And enlarging our network by operators into uncovered areas. Daily, we are expanding our network into uncovered areas to ensure our cable TV access to even remotest and rural areas. Better schemes to reactivate inactive STBs. There are in India, there is 20 million inactive STBs are there. So government should adopt some subsidy or subsidy scheme and hardware schemes to activate this huge inactive box. We are doing the same in Kerala. And effective use of platform channels. Platform channels is very important to retain cable TV because platform channels has a good rapport with the last mile customers. It's condense the customers will continue to see TV because of this platform channels. So we have to promote platform channels. Actually, KCCL embraced integrated broadband broadcasting. That is, with the help of broadband, we are adopting so many broadcasting services. We are giving operators so many support. You know, we are giving 10 lakhs sum assured when an operator died to his nominee and family. We are giving loan facility to the operators. We are giving loan facility to expand FTTH network by operators. We are giving loans for buying OLT, modem, STB, etc. Because its model is like that. Operators is the shareholders of this company. Internet growth, you know that internet growth crossed 1 billion in our country, but our wired broadband is only 46 million. That is only 5% of our broadband is wired broadband. Actually, wired broadband only will help our economic development, and that in turn will help to establish TV in all homes. So our company has adopted this broadband growth very effectively. We have 10 lakh rural broadband connections, while BSNL has only, I think, 12 or 13 lakhs connections all over India. In Kerala alone, we achieved 10 lakhs rural broadband connection without any subsidy from BharatNet. That is an important point. And the company could convert more than 50% of cable TV connections as broadband customers. That is why we could retain cable TV base along with our broadband penetration. Regulatory support needed for achieving this objective, that is TV to all homes. One is government support to promote wired broadband. Second is waiver of AGR in wired broadband. It is very important because only along with our penetration in wired broadband, our economic development can be achieved. ROW support, definitely government has done a good thing. Even in Kerala also, KSCB allowed us, that is, there is a High Court order in favor of the cable operators. Eliminating or reducing GST, definitely, because it is the key sector, the government has to support it. Support to promote local content. Again, I am telling that we have to globalize our local content and we have to support the local channels to achieve this objective. And activate 20 million hardware subsidies to promote cable TV in TV dark areas. KCCL model for Pan India. I am suggesting that our model can be easily you can adopt in other parts of the country. That is LCO promoted business because that will only have sustenance. Then high focus on wired FTTH broadband. By FTTH broadband only we can give multiple services to the customers. Profit sharing to cable operators. In the business profit, we have to share with the operators who are giving the last mile service. Upskilling operators in technology and business. We have to regularly upskill operators in technology and business. Then only this industry will survive. Retention of cable TV, closing. Retention of cable TV with the support of multiple service, promotion of platform channel, and cost-effective business model of KVBL. Thank you very much for giving this time because in a very short time, I have to tell so many things. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Please be there for one question, sir. One question you can answer and then. So it was wonderful hearing Mr. Padma Kumar, who has given us the view that yes, nothing is, there is nothing which is everywhere. There can be some exceptions. And when the linear TV and all are decreasing, now they have projected a picture which is rising. So many congratulations to you and your team who have achieved this feat of achieving such a high amount of growth in your field. And as we will go further to discuss, but as we wanted that broadband is now a main enabler in your whole endeavor. So can you please just highlight a few things that broadband will bring? Now, I will not talk about retention of the customers. It's increasing of the customers with a smile. So how do you propose that use of broadband in your services?
Broadband, actually, in our company, what we have done is, in anticipation of the changing market scenario, well in advance, we adopted broadband. And we used this last mile operators network and their efficiency, their customer knowledge effectively to promote broadband. And once we adopted this broadband, there actually we achieved a tremendous increase in the revenue because their ARPU before broadband, the cable operators ARPU was 250 or 300 rupees. But when they adopted broadband, their ARPU increased to 800 and even 1000 and more than 1000. So the broadband helped us to retain that segment, cable operators, and so then their revenue increased. They tried their level best to retain the customers giving multiple products. So broadband is the driver for the industry, especially wired broadband. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that insightful thought from Mr. Padma Kumar, who has proven that unity is really the strength. It really tells. And that unity now has to be there everywhere if you want to really scale up. With this, now I request Sri Prabhat, Additional Secretary MIB, to kindly put his views.
Good afternoon. I must congratulate Mr. Padma Kumar for showing this ray of hope to all the distribution platform people who are sitting here. We have been discussing that the way forward is to combine the broadband thing with the cable distribution system. And we have been getting a lot of applications also from LCOs for operating broadband, but this is a real eye opener, and we must learn from this and take home this point. So, taking TV to all homes. So, why this is important? Because it is uh, playing a very critical role even today for information dissemination, disaster alerts, education. There are about 23 crore 23 crore TV households in India, and roughly we say there are about 30 crore households. So the gap is roughly around 7 crore, which we have to target. And we have many mix of how signals reaches television through cable, DTH, IPTV, and Doordarshan's DD free dish. So the challenges are remote and border regions, infrastructure gaps, and affordability largely. Affordability of subscription, affordability of last mile, device, set-top box or TV, their prices, linguistic and regional content gap. One Padma Kumarji was saying, local content, and then accessibility features are largely lacking as of now in Indian broadcasting sector, and of course, electricity also in many rural. Reliable electricity is lacking in rural areas. So one thing is, as a policy pillar for taking it to all homes, we have to see this as a essential public digital infrastructure, and accordingly go ahead. Expand FTA ecosystem, free to air ecosystem, strengthen public service broadcasting. We can think of subsidy for economically weaker section to bridge the gap of affordability, and with special focus on border and aspirational district. Prasar Bharati is doing a lot of free-to-air broadcasting, including educational and cultural channels. They are the ones promoting our cultural heritage also. So we need to strengthen Prasar Bharati and its programming channels. Regional also, largely because still there are a lot of regions where which are not adequately getting the local services. Disaster and emergency broadcast integration with TV broadcasting, dedicated educational and agricultural channels. So we have DTH, which is having both paid and unpaid, free component. IPTV, hybrid broadcast broadband, what Padma Kumar just said, they are using to take it to more homes, besides retaining the existing customers. We have to promote low-cost set-top boxes and televisions. For electricity issues, we are one of the leading solar-powered nation. So I think this will certainly cover the gap and incentivize smart TV affordability for person. Government is also thinking of bringing a PLI kind of scheme for broadcast equipment sector. Sustainable business model may include a FTA free-to-air plus advertising model, just on the lines of DD free dish. Maybe the DTH operators will be able to repackage their services for rural sector. For different economic sector, they can have different kind of business models. Tiered subscription, infrastructure sharing to lower the price, for customers, consumers, public-private partnership, and exploiting the local advertising market for bringing down the cost to consumers. Content is the real driver. Hyper-local content, regional content, agriculture and health, livelihood programming, educational programming, tribal and tribal language, and there are so many dialects in India. So if the channels cater to the regional, local, hyper-local requirement, people will certainly come to television. As of now, connected TV ecosystem is growing. We need clarity on how does government play a part in it. Fair competition framework, because of now, as of now, the regulatory framework is not encompassing fast TVs, so there is a gap. Data and privacy safeguards. We need to expand free dish capacity, accelerate digital terrestrial rollout, affordable device ecosystem, regional content, and one thing more that is about 30 crore mobile connections are without data connections. So there's a plan, and in working that D2M, direct to mobile services, can effectively bridge this gap by making use of D2M technology. The broadcasting can be done directly to mobile handsets without use of SIM, without use of internet. So that is also one way to reach the TV dark homes. So goal is to have universal TV access across geographical limits and seamless broadband convergence, indigenous broadcast technology ecosystem, global content leadership. As you know, we are promoting orange economy and inclusive information society. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhatji. Please be there for a few minutes more. We are highly delighted to hear from you that golden heart which feels that all homes should have TV. All homes should have at least not the TV, at least facility to see the TV. And government is thinking like that on that terms, that how to have that inclusive growth. So these are the wonderful opinions. We are really immersed with your view that you have propagated right now and enlightened us. At the same time, I must tell you that your request that fast TV, so that already you have sent us, and we are also working on that. So it will be a wonderful combination from your side as well as from our side. We'll try to play a big role in the shaping of the broadcasting industry in India. However, the most important and what public want to listen from you is what is your views on D2M, like what are your plans? Already you have confirmed up your views. What is your plan to roll out such D2M so that the last people who are not getting also will get it? Very wonderful idea, but kindly please elaborate something more on that.
So as of now, the POC has been done for D2M, and there is a local technology also available, but the plan is to go in a technology agnostic way so that whatever best technology is available, that can be used. And the benefit is that it can cover as I said, about 30 crore we are targeting, not only the 30 crore mobiles which are not connected to internet, even the existing mobile phone consumers who are having data connection can also shift to those who use mobile for viewing channels. They can also shift to the D2M service if as and when it rolls out, because broadcasting like a cricket match takes a lot of data on a device. So if you roll out D2M and these mobiles start using D2M service, a lot of data will be saved for other purpose, and it will help in solving the problem of data also. This is one, and actually D2M is planned to be rolled in a PPP mode in India. So POC has been done with the help of IIT Kanpur, and further works are in progress to roll it out. Thank you.
Kindly take your seat. Now that we have finished the presentation from our panelists, we have made the wonderful presentation on all aspects, like people have given hope, some have shown by execution, and other our panelist has said that how he can reach to the last people who are still deprived of the broadcasting. We have got 10 minutes of time. I would keep the reserve around 8 minutes or 7 minutes for the audience question, and only one small question I will take from our panelists. So, Professor Pingla, I would like to know from you that big hope that people will be having with the things will improve on its own. But what I have seen that Padma Kumar and Prabhat, that we expand the base of television. So do you really there?
No, I mean, I think the argument still remains for me on multiple levels, saying that India and the entire idea of India is single. And so whatever you say, in one region can be generalized to the entire country. That is where I see the misplaced belief to be coming from. I'm still going to be very, very categorical in saying this, that that in affluent states right now, maybe that concern that they have is valid, but that is not generalizable to the entire country. I think when you see Northeast pick up in terms of its per capita incomes, you're going to see more penetration of TV. I have no doubt about it. So that is what I would also like to highlight. I'll also like to highlight one thing that both the speakers have said at various points in terms of content. Now, if you really realize that your new TV audience are going to come from these particular demographics, namely states which are picking up in terms of their GDP and rural India, what should be the new content strategy from the point of view of a broadcaster? To me, that becomes an interesting question. While your existing programming may continue as it is, I think the new programming will probably need to orient a little bit to capture the attention of these new set of audience that are coming into the picture. So that's where, while I admit that in some regions, both their concerns are definitely valid, I think there is a lot more to India where you would see a lot of growth. I mean, I must also admit this, that 1% of India is pretty much larger than most countries in the world. We have to understand that. So that is when you'll put my results into perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was a very sharp response and evocative response. So now that 7 minutes time, precious time, I'm reserving for the audience. And I would request to audience to kindly raise their questions, and all of them should participate as much as possible. So the first hand is from Mr. Kayum. Kayumji, please ask your question.
Yeah. Thank you. My question is to Mr. Padma Kumar. I was keenly listening to your presentation. You have demonstrated that
slightly louder, yeah, close.
Yeah, you have demonstrated that the business that you developed in Kerala can be replicated in other parts of the India. So the demographic characteristic of Kerala is quite different than many other places, and the spread also, because in case of wired broadband, spread matters, density matters, and demographic characteristic matters. So what are your plans to inroad into other territory?
Thank you. Actually, I have to convey on news to all of you. Last month, we have started our operation in West Bengal. In Calcutta, and within a short span of 1 month period, we have crossed the direct box seeding of 20,000. And we are planning to migrate some unviable MSOs by some business tie-up with them. So it shows that the Kerala model can be replicated anywhere if there is a operator-friendly model. That is very important. If we train the operator, if we give him the reasonable share of the business, the profit share, everything, and also we promote them for new technology adoption, definitely this model can be implemented in any part of the nation, and it will definitely support government to achieve its objectives.
Sir.
Thank you. I'm sorry I missed because there were some media persons, they took me out. But my question is that the percentage of HD set-top boxes continues to be very low. So whereas your model, where you are providing broadcasting through IPTV, it has the opportunity to provide high definition, high quality broadcasting. So what can be done to proliferate HD set-top boxes and HD content to the viewers that can probably, bring back the viewership to TV, linear TV?
Sir, actually, we have not started IPTV operation in, the approval we are pending from MIB. But we have started integrated OTT and linear TV. We started our own OTT platform, aggregated platform. This platform helping us to give both services to our consumers. As your question, HD, actually we are now for the last so many years we are promoting only HD boxes. But HD content consumption, I agree that there is a lagness in consuming the HD content, and we are trying our level best to promote it, but we need broadcasted support for promoting the HD content.
I think there are two aspects which you need to see. First of all, you need bandwidth, more bandwidth for HD, which is available if you are having fiber.
Yeah,
So
sure.
with fiber bandwidth, and second thing is that its cost should come down.
Definitely.
So if these two things are done, then probably viewership of linear TV will grow.
Yeah, and our ARPU will also increase.
ARPU will also increase.
Thank you, sir, for that kind question. We have got two more audience questions. One is from COI, one is from BIF. So who first? Anybody can take, but please be sharp in the question, and you will be equally sharp in the answer.
Devashish Bhattacharya from Broadband India Forum. Sir, my question is Mr. Bhatt, regarding D2M. So my question is on D2M, sir. You mentioned that you're rolling out D2M on a nationwide basis and progressively. While we understand that this is D2M means direct to a normal mobile without any modifications, I am presuming, would it require any change in the infrastructure? Because you see, currently the analog broadcasting infrastructure is high power, high tower. Whereas if you want me to receive the signal anywhere in the work, I will be. While the high power, high tower can work in outdoor areas and penetrate long distances, how will it penetrate indoor connectivity where I am moving? Let's say I'm in an elevator or something. Don't you think you would need some additional infrastructure to compensate or to take care of the network issues that are likely to come up when D2M? And if that is the case, if that is correct, then how are you planning to augment that? Is there going to be a partnership with the telcos, or it will be a separate infrastructure network? That's my question. It's just as a layman. Thank you.
Two things. One is transmitter side. The plan, the technical consultant Joe IT Kanpur has suggested a combination of high power and low power transmitters. They will guide us on how it has to be. How they are to be put so that there will be adequate signals for broadcasting, receipt of broadcasting. Secondly, the current mobile will need some modification. A chip will be required. So already one type of chip is being tested in mobile handsets. integrating with the mobile motherboard. Otherwise, the existing mobile would need some kind of external dongle to receive the signals as and when the service starts. As of now, it is planned. It is not fully approved. So there are still stages left to be done to roll out. I mean, this is not ready to roll out as yet, but it is in plan. Yes. Thank you.
So, thank you, Prabhat. So last question. Kindly be quick.
Again, continuing in the same line. So, where has MIB reached on the 5G broadcast? Because this ATSC based direct to mobile, it's been tried in many places, not yet worked yet. So, at what stage are you in MIB in evaluating this? Because we had a meeting with the secretary, and MIB had said that you would do some trials with the telecom operators to overcome interference issues and other related. And if it's going to be a commercial service, as it evidently is, would it come to TRAI for a consultation? I mean, that's the way typically a commercial use of spectrum would happen. Your thoughts?
Another round of technology demonstration is planned, and it will be done shortly to see, and we have invited also the 5G chip manufacturers and cellular operator to showcase their technology, whatever they have. So that is planned and will be done shortly. It will be announced. I think Prasar Bharati has already invited the players to come up and show their technology. So this is one part, and the second part was coming to TRAI. We'll see once we go ahead what we are required to do. We'll see at that time.
Thank you so much, Prabhat. Last question. Please be quick, Mr. Bhatia. He raised his hand. Kindly put your last question from this.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to TRAI and congratulations TRAI for this great event. My question is somewhat similar to what Vikram just asked. How do MIB plan to allocate the spectrum for this purposes for direct to mobile TV? Thank you.
The spectrum to be used is the one which is used for terrestrial broadcast, 470 to 582 megahertz. That is with Prasar Bharati for public broadcasting service. So as of now, it is planned to use the spectrum that is already available for use of Prasar Bharati. And that's it. Anything else?
Thank you, Mr. Prabhat, for very quick and precise answers. Thank you, the audience, for that nice questions. Now we will come to the end of this session. But before that, I must thank my teammates who have contributed immensely in making this whole program success, this particular session. So I am thankful to my team led by Ms. Dipali. Please get up. And just we want to thank you because she was the one who suggested that these are the people of the kind of people who can really make a difference. And we called them. Our other teammates are there. So we have not asked them to rise up, but 4 members are there. They have worked incessantly to make this session a big success. Thanks to all of you for being with us. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, moderator, sir, and all our speakers for this wonderful and thought-provoking session on inclusive telecom access. Now I would like to request the moderator of the session, Shri A.K. Jhaji, to present mementos to our distinguished speakers as a token of appreciation. First to Shri Prabhatji. To Shri Padma Kumarji. to Professor Vishwanath Pinangli ji. Now I request Shri P.K. Singh ji, Principal Advisor TRAI, to present a memento to the moderator of the session, Shri Jha ji, as a token of appreciation for moderating such a productive session. Thank you, sir. Thank you, panelists. Now I would like to take this opportunity to invite all the speakers and moderator of this session for a group photograph. I request Chairman sir and all the members, Mitar sir, Tangirala sir, and Bose sir, Mishra sir is not here, to please join the session speakers of this session for a group photograph. Thank you, sir. Please give a huge round of applause to all our speakers. Now let's move on to the next and last session of the day, which is on network slicing and net neutrality. This session is particularly significant in the context of 5G expansion, evolving network architectures, and emerging digital policy frameworks, as it underscores the need to balance technological innovations with the principle of an open and fair internet. We are pleased to request the esteemed speakers of this session to come up on the dais. I invite the moderator of the session, Shri Akhilesh Trivedi ji, Advisor TRAI, who brings extensive experience in telecom policy, licensing, and network regulation. Shri UK Srivastav ji, President RJIL, a telecom expert with over 4 decades of experience in spectrum management, standardization, telecom quality assurance, and international engagements, including ITU. Shri Umang Jindal ji, Head of Network Software Performance Transport at Ericsson for India, Oceania, and Southeast Asia, who has been at the forefront of innovation in RAN, 4G, 5G, 6G, and AI ML driven network technologies across global telecom ecosystems. Brigadier Anil Tandonji, Director General Broadband India Forum, a distinguished telecom technology leader and former CTO with vast experience in spectrum planning, large-scale network rollouts, and telecom innovation. Thank you, speakers, for accepting our invitation and gracing this session with your kind presence. I now hand over to Shri Trivedi ji to begin the session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me welcome the chairperson TRAI, the members TRAI, the senior officers from TRAI, and the distinguished participants of this seminar today, and the people from media. We are entering into the next session, which is on network slicing and net neutrality. We have a distinguished panel with us. We have one speaker from the telecom service provider, a speaker from industry association, and one from the technology developer. So a full range of speakers we have on the panel. Before we begin the conversation, the brainstorming on this subject, I'll take this opportunity to start with the basics of net neutrality. So as to set the context. I'll request the participants to stay calm and silent. Thank you. So net neutrality, as our Honorable Minister of Communications in his address mentioned about the principle of equity. And net neutrality is essentially founded on the principle of equity. The definition or the broad concept of net neutrality is on open and non-discriminatory access to the internet. If you look at the internet ecosystem, there are three main participants. One would be the content creators, the websites, the applications, and then there are consumers, the people like you and me, who consume this in the content. And in the middle are the superhighways, the internet access service providers who make this content available to you and me. And this requirement of making net neutral or open is on the internet access service providers. And when we look at the global experience on net neutrality, we see that many countries of the world have installed guardrails to ensure that the net remains neutral. In India, we also, the policy and the regulation has done its bit. And the guardrails which India has installed are essentially based on the much cherished goal of AAA, which is availability, affordability, and acceptability. So the first piece is based on availability or unrestricted access. And this guardrail has existed forever, since when the internet service license was first started. So what it says is that the subscriber shall have unrestricted access to all the content available on the internet, except for what is prohibited by the law. And the second is based on the price piece. The first was based on the availability or unrestricted access. The second piece is on the price component. And it says that no service provider shall offer or charge discriminatory tariffs for data services on the basis of content. So content will not be discriminated on, so price will not be charged differently. And this was after a long fought debate, which started in 2015 and which concluded in 2016 after TRAI's regulation on this matter. And the third one, again, is based on TRAI's recommendations on net neutrality of 2017. And basis which the government installed this new condition under the telecom service license. And it says that a licensee providing internet access service shall not engage in any discriminatory treatment of content, including based on sender or receiver, the protocol being used, or the user equipment. Essentially, the basic foundational element is that no user or no content will be discriminated against. So as we see the new technology feature appearing in this form of network slicing under the new generation networks such as 5G networks, where a single physical network can be partitioned into multiple virtual subnetworks or slices, and certain new services may be provisioned. However, as we see from the international experience in Europe and USA, that certain discontent or debate has started brewing around this. And therefore, the question before us today is whether network slicing poses any harm to the principles of net neutrality. So the opportunities from network slicing, do they pose any threat to the basic principles of net neutrality? Or conversely, the question would be whether net neutrality and network slicing can live together happily. So on this subject, we have three eminent speakers today with us. Because the subject of network slicing is technical, and therefore this will be pertinent if I start with the technology developer to begin the conversation to tell us as to what network slicing means and what it promises. Whether other countries have done network slicing, have used network slicing in the trials or in the real world scenarios. I'll invite Mr. Umang Jindal for this. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Akhilesh, and thank you, the TRAI team. First of all, congratulations for this event. I think it's a big event, and TRAI has been supporting this whole digital infrastructure for India for last 29 years. And I really congratulate TRAI for where India is today on this highway. The topic is really great. I was really impressed by understanding 330 million, medium screens. We were discussing about that, the earlier topic. And we're talking about 1 billion small screens in this country, 1 billion plus. So I think there is an immense need of 5G, I would say, or 6G in future. And there are a lot of new devices going to come in the country. So I think topic is really good when we talk about slicing and net neutrality. We would love to see that these coexist and really make everything great. Today, I'm trying to cover more about what's happening in the world on slicing piece. Something which is there on this is a world map where we are talking about what's happening on 5G. And we are now starting to see what is the usage of 5G from a SA and SA point of view. You can see the three big population part of the world, which is India, US, and China. The numbers are higher in terms of 50%, 65%, and 90%. So, these parts of the world are using 5G SA, which means that there is a huge need of more and more innovative services, which these countries are demanding, and there is a need to it. So one thing which is really good is that the entire world is getting painted into green and red color here, wherein the green colors talk about the SA services and the red color talks about a mix of SA and NSA, primarily towards NSA. And what we can see on the second part of the graph is we see a lot of usage on SA. Again, we see a lot of usage on NSA in India and 98% in China. And then we see the European countries, Middle East countries, the South America and the Australian countries still picking up, which clearly indicates that there is a huge need and there is a huge demand. One big thing is, if you look at 5G overall, approximately 360 5G networks are today there globally, which means that we are touching 80 to 90% of the population from a 5G point of view with anchor networks. And we have approximately 90 networks live around the world, which is SA. And I come from Ericsson, and we have approximately 55 live SA networks where Ericsson is deploying and working onto the networks. A bit of complex slide. I thought it is really important to talk about what's happening on slicing as a technology. So what you see on your left-hand side is all about what technology has evolved. I remember I presented a slide where we were just talking about small partitions, but now the level of partitions that we can do in a network or in a pipe is pretty high. We can talk about partitions from a QoI point of view where we talk about different QCIs. We can talk about scheduling of the resources, priority scheduling of the resources. We can talk about controlled scheduling from uplink and downlink point of view. We can also talk about admission controls. So all these things are now becoming integral part of slicing, which means we can make it more complex from a slicing point of view, which also means we can try and work around a specific service during a specific period of time for a specific amount of people or devices. So that is the new thing which is coming up. And that's where you would start to see during next couple of months that there are services which are coming, which will facilitate, for example, banking, fraudulent transactions for security-based services for bankings. You will also see things about new cameras which are coming on ground, which will be connected on 5G and 6G networks in future. A lot of new machines, devices for connecting machines will come in, which will talk about latency. So depending upon that, these things will start to come in play, and we will see more and more things coming up on the network side, which will be allowing different devices to get configured. So when I talk about applications here, and sorry, so this is not only on the radio network, it goes across transport and core as well. So everything gets combined, and there is a plethora of opportunities that we can do. I'll come to that in terms of what globally operators are doing. But coming here, I'm talking about some differentiations on quality of services. I'm also talking about something on the security part as well as the public safety part. When we started looking into public safety, we figured out there are multiple different use cases which different operators have deployed globally. And these are with standalone 5G network, these are with standalone 5G core, and more and more around it. But yes, some are in trial stage, and some they have really started to implement it as a service. But when you start looking into it, there are more such applications. I've just highlighted two things. Boosting some service. We can just boost one service. So, and then we can also give some application-based promotion of some services. So these things which were hidden, which I've just unhide, they are just talking about how do we simplify them in our net neutrality regime. The other ones, yes, we can create some models and work onto it, but these are something which really talks about giving a prioritization to some specific internet content. And that's where we can think about how do we simplify the policies and make around that. Moving on, a simple thing. In this slide, I can read out everything, but we're talking about approximately 80 plus use cases which are being tested on network slicing across the world. So approximately 40-45 operators are doing these activities. And these activities span across B2C. Here I'm talking about, I've tried to give a definition of business so that we can link it towards a network and a business, because reality is if the business grows, things starts to simplify. So this is more about B2C, where an operator or CSP can work with a subscription on the phone services. It can talk about FWA, it can talk about cloud gaming. Then we get in towards B2B2C segment. We are talking about arena and events where we can sell some sort of packages to the subscribers sitting inside the arena. We can talk about some POS, billing machines. There's a lot of vendors which keep selling stuff, so that can also be linked to it. We're talking about broadcasting and video streaming channels, because there's a lot of I would say mobile broadcasting happening. There's a lot of mobile media happening, which will be using 5G and 6G networks of the future. So that's another area. One big piece is the B2B piece, where industries, academias, transport, developers, defense, and cybersecurity comes into play, because this is somehow linked to the consumer, but ultimately things happen between business to business. Could be a company like Volvo or a company like Medanta gets integrated with a CSP, and then they try to offer a specialized service to their end consumers. But the business gets linked with operators and the service providers. Moving on, I brought in some of those 80 use cases which were there. Something which I'm trying to highlight from a FWA point of view, because India is doing really a lot of work on FWA. We have Elisa, Elisa. We have one which is doing Jio in India, is doing Airtel in India is also doing nowadays. Telstra in Australia is working on FWA as a model. Talking about event and location specific, Singtel is working onto it, which is in Singapore. Timo in US is doing slices for POS machines. Vodafone UK has done some sort of event slicing for a lot of events which happen in Europe. High quality video is something which is picking up, where we see RedCap also coming into as a device. Verizon in US is rolling out a lot of services for video calling during on the move in the events or everything. Singtel again has created some 5G passes which they are giving to their subscribers when they're into some arena and events. Again, T-Mobile and DE is also working on uplink-based applications over there. So all these things are there. And the key thing, we are seeing a lot of traction on security as well. And we see subscribers really buying these services from a security point of view. And the one new operator which I've introduced in this slide is Far EasTone. They are also offering security-based services to their consumer, and it is being accepted widely. Moving on, I just brought one slide on mission critical services, because I see India is really taking a leap onto it. We are identifying spectrum. We are also working on some trials. And some of the cases where I have highlighted about 10 to 15 operators, where different sort of mission critical services have been offered across the country. Thalia is one operator which is offering a defense force, even a 5G private network. We have things in T-Mobile. I'll not touch about that. But then there's one thing which is very interesting is about Madrid, which is tying up with Orange as an operator, and they are offering SA network for emergency services. And these emergency services, they are working with different organizations in the country so that they can all offer these services. They're working with police, they're working with municipalities. So all these groups can come together on the simple network. There's something more which is happening in Latvia in terms of how can they again combine all the different services of the country onto a 5G network, and then they can offer some services around there. Telefonica and Airbus are working on a business model where they can offer airspace and defense sector on a 5G network slice for the MCN networks. And in the last, I did talk about some, prioritization of calls during the admission. When the subscriber is coming to the network, how do you prioritize the subscriber? And that's where we see a lot of operator working on this area, so that the subscribers who are on MCN or the team members who are working on MCN, who are practically guarding us, they should be prioritized before the normal public is prioritized, so that if they have the call, they can at least manage the crisis situation. And that's where many of the operators are working onto it, so that these guys get prioritization during the admission. So these are some of the cases I wanted to bring up. I have a full study on Singtel, but I think looking at time, I will skip this. And that's pretty much from my side, Akhilesh. And thank you everyone for listening to me.
Thank you, Umang. You shared insights about latency-sensitive applications. Yeah, the priorities scheduling and also about slicing using QCI. The first question to you would be whether the Indian operators, are they ready with these features in India?
Good point. I would say one of our operators in India is ready. They have been doing it. They have configured the network long back. The other operators are working onto it, and they are also ready onto it. It's a matter of time when we start to see some of these services being trialed in their network. So 2025 or 2026, I expect some of these services would be tested in the network.
When I hear about priority scheduling, this takes me to the principle of non-discriminatory treatment of content, which is 2018 amendment in the telecom service licenses. And also similar thing happened in BEREC, where they say that traffic management measures should not be based on commercial considerations, but on objectively different technical quality of service requirements of a specific category of traffic. The essence essentially is that the measure should treat equivalent traffic equally. So do you see that the feature of priority scheduling might infringe this requirement?
Priority scheduling, you're right. It can be looked in both the aspects. From a network point of view, scheduling is always there. When you start to prioritize scheduling, we need to see, are we prioritizing a service or we are prioritizing a content? If we are prioritizing a service, it works. But if you're trying to prioritize a content, then it creates a point of discussion. So from a service point of view, I think it is fairly possible.
Okay. Thank you, Umang.
Thank you, Akhilesh.
So next we proceed to Mr. Yukesh Srivastav. He is from Reliance Jio Infocom Limited. I invite him for the discussion.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chairman, TRAI members, and ladies and gentlemen, good wishes on TRAI Day. It's a wonderful event. Even Minister was talking about network slicing in his speech twice or thrice he mentioned. So everyone is very excited about network slicing. As far as the technology developer is concerned, he has done his monetization because he sold the equipment. Now it is the turn of operator to monetize. I will talk about certain basic things, then we'll take questions. It has already been talked about. You have seen the physical infrastructure on which you create network configurations that enable multiple virtualized and independent networks.
And this is a unique proposition offered by 5G SA network. Incidentally, Jio has deployed only 5G SA network only, standalone network only. And each slice can have its specific network layer capabilities. I was knowing very little capabilities. He was talking about almost 55, 80, 85, in fact, 85 or 80 slices. And this slicing used to enhance customer experience by tailored latency, volume, security, etc. Security is very, very important network slice that is going to be there in future. Creates new business use cases, enables innovation and entrepreneurship, removes the one-size-fits-all approach in the utilization of the network, and enables multiple business use cases. Very simple depiction of what happens in the network. You have different slices created on the same 5G SA infrastructure. Mobile broadband slice, massive IoT slice, mission critical IoT slice, and other slices. And also there could be combinations. Very simple cases that of automobile, wherein you require a lot of bandwidth as well as very low latency. So there could be combination of various needs of the industry, and the network should be in a position to meet those requirements. This slide I have taken from GSMA document. The upper side of the picture, it depicts the normal network wherein everyone is treated same way. If you can see the arrow is shown of the same gray color as far as utility or automotive or manufacturing is concerned. Whereas when you do the network slicing, you have different parameters dished out or quality of service dished out to various services like utilities, automobile, and manufacturing. Now, what are the implications for different stakeholders? That's very important when you deploy so much of infrastructure with coughing up a lot of money. ICT services, high capacity or low latency services like metaverse, immersive gaming, etc., can be slice assigned as per their requirement. Telecom service providers can monetize the 5G network, and then they will have enough funding for deployment of 6G network in future. And Industry 4.0 and beyond, it's really, it is in the nascent stage in India, but elsewhere it is picking up. Then innovators and tech entrepreneurs, their requirements are entirely different because they need SLA-based QoS, and most of them are asking for different kind of QoE parameters, etc. So overall, the bandwidth, latency, capacity, security, and QoS, they will all, will become monetization levers in ICT volume chain. This is an example. What we do is basically we have a B2B slice which is reserved for industry or private DNN, and then the B2C slice is portion of the radio resource. It is sliced to meet different requirements. For example, mobility slice, high throughput slice, or low latency slice. As Mr. Jindal was saying, there could be many more. The important thing is that the resource allocation can be fixed as well as dynamic. I must inform you that we have deployed the FWA, and therein we use dynamic allocation of resources so that if there is pressure on mobility, mobility can consume more radio resources and vice versa. If there is more pressure on the FWA portion, it can be done. So thus elasticity is built into the network. One important point that I wanted to cover here, which will have to be addressed in the net neutrality regulations, is the user equipment route selection policy, URSP. Now, this is a feature which was enabled in release 16 of 3GPP, and it's basically an OS-based feature. So the operating system in the handset or user equipment, it automatically takes to the subscribed 5G slice, and therefore you could be subscribing a number of slices. USRP enabled device can easily take care of the the slice that is required at the point of time of usage. We will discuss this issue when we discuss network neutrality as a regulation. This is a very, very simple depiction of how it works. Device operating system will automatically take care of the normal slice, which is the consumer slice shown here. Or, for example, if you have subscribed to low latency, then if there is a low latency requirement, automatically that app will select the low latency slide. Global example, Mr. Umang has already given you a number of examples. I will quickly cover. Singtel is offering, obviously the regulations there, they permit 1 + 1 gigabit per second kind of speed. 1 GB can be reserved for a slice for dedicated for gaming, and another one is for rest of the applications. Similarly, AT&T has got, product. You can see single car going because automotive sector has been allocated as separate slide and rest of them different slide. T-Mobile in US, Verizon, they are advertising their own 5G slice services. There was a talk about BEREC. I would like to say that BEREC is still considering number of proposals. They are asking for stakeholders to submit their proposals. They are still at the stage of taking a final call. But they have introduced what is called as quality of service class identifier mechanism, that is called 5QI. And using that mechanism, individual packets can be allotted different QS parameters, and that could help in creating the different categories of traffic. So normally the internet access subscribers will not be affected in this process, and people are subscribing to different class of service, they can be provided those services. So that's all I wanted to discuss. Thank you very much. I'll take questions.
Yeah.
Or later.
Thank you, Mr. Srivastava. Mr. Srivastava, you spoke about the features of network slicing. Whether your network, the Reliance Jio network is capable of network slicing at present?
Yes, I said earlier, we are ready. We have our network is 5G SA totally, and we have tested all kind of slicing and applications, and network is perfectly ready for this.
And you also spoke about B2B and B2C slices. If I look at 2018 amendment in the license agreement, it speaks about permitting specialized services, but it also prohibits certain conduct. It says that specialized services must not replace or undermine the general internet access service, which actually means that the specialized service must be more than granting priority over comparable content. So whether B2B and B2C slices will be undermining the general internet access service?
You see, overall, if you see, the net network neutrality, regulation of TRAI of 2016 and UL amendment in 2018, they are like a minefield. You see, one works on the tariff discrimination. It is TRAI regulation is built around tariff discrimination without affecting the, speed, etc. As far as the DOT UL modification is there, amendment is there, it is built around content. Okay. Now this FWA, our feeling is that despite these two regulations, being in place, it is possible to do the service-based applications. For example, FWA is basically a service-based application. The resource is allocated in the beginning itself for the general public, broadband or internet, and for the FWA. So there is absolutely no clash. And as I said, that there is no fixed boundary. There is elasticity built into this. So if there is more pressure on the mobility, obviously the resource can be diverted towards the general internet and vice versa. So there is no violation as such in our opinion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Srivastava.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Brigadier Anil Tandon. He is from Broadband India Forum. I invite him for the discussion.
Not come. Banker.
Uh, Firstly, good afternoon, everybody. And I would like to take this opportunity of wishing TRAI a happy Founders Day, 29th Founder Day, and to all the people. Am I audible? Am I loud enough? Anyway, it's also a little, good wishes to all the people here. It's always a little disadvantage to be the last speaker, but not in this case because the points being discussed by the other two and me may be a little different. You know, the net neutrality was under has been under great discussion in the years 2015 to 2017 or 2015 to 17, and finally the net neutrality recommendations came in some November to 2017. But subsequent to that, I think there were some recommendations sought by DOT on two specific issues, and one of them was the traffic management practices, which of course came, and then there were some amendments to the license. For obvious reasons, then a lot of effort has happened, and the 5G is being rolled out. My presentation was sort of trying to bring out, which may not be relevant. I'll try and skip through it and go to the questions more. I mean, I'll rush through it because my this thing is more on what our understanding of the what net neutrality means, which in a way has been covered by Akhilesh ji and also being discussed here. So, okay, it's coming. So, what we felt that the net neutrality is that there should be no blocking, there should be no throttling, there should be open internet, which was explained by Akhilesh, no improper prioritization, which we felt is what whether it is paid or whether it is otherwise, and open, easy, and non-discriminatory access is what was the what was meant to be the meaning or understanding of the net neutrality. Subsequently, there has also been a recognition of different categories of traffic, primarily from a traffic management maybe point of view, because some of these categories require different types of some may like email may not be so sensitive in terms of the speed or timing or things like that. YouTube may have a different thing. Then there's also a category of specialized services, which has already been introduced, which Mr. Akhilesh also asked whether, on the whether it could be emergency services, disaster management, and things like that. And then there is a voice over IP because basically this requires a guaranteed bandwidth, otherwise the calls will not go through. Obviously, for all these, there is a different traffic management techniques which have to be done, but within the same category, there should be no discrimination, is what we understand as the characteristics of the net neutrality. And there should be no permission of zero rating systems, which is more related to the content side of the thing. This is once again, I'm trying to say that that there is no different traffic management techniques being allowed, but that is to ensure high quality end user experience. All such treatments should, however, be transparent, proportional, and non-discriminatory in nature, and must be effectively and understandably disclosed to the public. So it should be known to everybody is something that we understand as the policy guidelines. Again, I think I'll not say that, but reasonable publicity disclosed do not result in fast lanes for affiliated content, services, and applications. If you're offering a fast lane for them, then obviously seems to be a discrimination, and that will have to be looked into as to. And similarly, there should not be blocking or throttling for any other classes of content or services. Non-discrimination, you see, it is non-discriminatory when a given, what we feel is if a TSP and a content provider, this is on the content side of it, it should be the same terms and conditions that must be given to all of them to be able to participate. Whether they want to participate or not, that is up to them. Okay, again, it is their innovative business, but the point here is that these issues are arising out of the traffic management would have reporting and auditing requirements, which would have to be dealt with by the TRAI. And the quality of service has to be maintained, which should fall within the jurisdiction of TRAI, which again, the TRAI will have to manage. Don't have it in my presentation, but what really is the basic question is, which Akhilesh, you would have asked me, but before he asked me, what is the BI view on whether the 5G slicing can be provided as part of the net neutrality? Yes, initially when the regulations came, 5G wasn't there, so maybe the slicing thing was not very well understood. BIF basically is a view that the technical features of any new technology should be allowed to be used as far as possible. But as far as we feel that it does not, net neutrality does not prevent discrimination between two different types of users who may have different needs and therefore may have different QoS requirements. But what we would like to say is that when a slice is being created, number one, it should be offered to all and everybody without discrimination. Anybody should be allowed to take it if they wish to subscribe to the same. The second thing is that if they offer one or more slices to preferential users at a premium, it should not result in a degradation of ability of general internet users of the same service. So that is an important thing, and which has to be kept in mind. Of course, one is this. The second thing is who is going to be. How do you once this, if it is allowed, then how are you going to be able to monitor or how this is going to be there? So maybe, I mean, for it could, if it has to be offered, and I'm sure it would already be done by the operators, is that they could publish something like a RIO or something to say, okay, this is the plan that we are offering. But to me, what came up now, which I did not realize it earlier, and I could like to offer my comment is on this, on being provided that, as I understood now, that the FWA and the mobility are being, I don't know whether it's as a part of different slices they are being offered, but what I understood from UKG is that, one traffic could affect the traffic, could affect the other traffic. So how that is being managed, is it, there is the normal mobility, this thing, typically we know that anything in the FWA, the usage is much higher. The bandwidth can be much higher that can be provided there. And in that case, does it impact the mobility users? How has that happened? That would need to be explained by them or will have to be told to us. At the end of it, one more thing is that there is a certain amount of capacity that is available based on the spectrum taking from the RAN to the transmission to the core. Having provided somebody some sort of a guaranteed and bandwidth or a speed, whether under the EMBB or an IoT or ultra low latency, if it takes away the if there's not enough capacity left for the other users, so therefore their experience or their speeds would get impacted. That should not be allowed, is what we feel. For that, obviously, the operators would have to make some sense of how to increase the capacity. that is an aspect that has to be looked into. So that's all I wanted to say at this. If you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Tandon. Thank you, Mr. Tandon. You spoke about that the networks have only definite amount of capacity, and if high speed applications are allowed through slicing, they are likely to degrade the experience of the general internet service. So if that is correct, so in your view, whether this innovation, the new age, the opportunity which is network slicing, can this coexist with net neutrality? Because you seem to be suggesting otherwise.
You see, as long as the capacity is managed by the thing, I think the two could coexist. But the most important aspect would be that the normal network users should not get impacted by it. So that is what my view on this would be.
With that, I turn to the audience. The first question appears to be coming from Mr. TVR.
Thank you, sir. Beg your pardon? No, I'm not asking a question. I'm just clarifying what Brigadier Tandon has said.
You're not
it shows on. Hello? Oh, no. I'm just adding in clarification to what Brigadier Tandon has said. He has outlined our BIF's principles very clearly. But we should remember in what he said repeatedly, there is going to be a heavy onus on TRAI for monitoring it. That is very important to protect the consumer's interest, not only the individual personal consumer, but also the business customer. I'll take these two separately. Number one, business, B2B, which is talked about by everybody. We welcome network slicing. It's a key feature of 5G. But that is not going to come for free. It's going to cause more of administrative overlooking. In business B2B itself, if I'm offering one business customer a certain type of, say, one FMCG company, one category, one quality of service, I must offer the same, under same terms and conditions. And that's what he mentioned very significantly as RIO. It is like the interconnect offer. That is like in the morning also, Chairman Sir referred to interconnection as a key aspect. In fact, entire telecom regulation in India started with the first petition on this matter was petition number 1 in TRAI, for which it was set up in 1997, and that dealt with interconnection, PSTN to mobile interconnection, where the monopoly operator imposed a 24 times higher tariff. Similar is the situation likely to develop here, unless the TRAI is careful. Because between two parties, it should not be that I'm also an automotive user, automotive business, somebody else, Maruti, say Toyota. It should not happen that they get different offers. That is one for B2B. On B2C, it's even more eminently so, because as an individual user, I've taken a plan. Number one, the plan should not degrade in quality. What I get in the general plan...
Please keep it closer.
Sorry. What I get in the general plan, for which the individual customer, personal customer is paying, that should not fall in quality. That you have said, licensor has said, everybody has said that. Secondly, another person coming on the plan should not get a different treatment. This is a very difficult thing to manage. In theory, yes, it should be allowed. But how effectively it can be managed, what resources TRAI would have to put in to ensure fairness. Because everywhere the term cropping up repeatedly in all that we have been talking throughout the morning is non-discriminatory, level playing field. Level playing field not only between operators, but more important between customers, whether it's a business customer or an individual customer. That's what I wanted.
Thank you, Mr. Ramchandran. Mr. Tejpal Singh.
So, thank you for the speaker for this insightful discussion. See, network slicing is a requirement, and depending upon the applications now emerging, we need network slicing, and technology has come to resolve those issues and then to offer the solution. Now, the challenge lies the way we implement them. If we implement them correctly, that the full potential of the technology can be utilized. So if I can envisage the emerging scenario where slicing will be there, so there will be different prioritization slices. The lowest slice will be for the ordinary customer, and there will be maximum number will be in the lowest priority slice. Now, when everything is fine, resource is okay, then there's no challenge. When these services start competing with the resources, then the lowest category of slice will get impacted. Now, the example you have given for the Europe, Singapore, and other things, I would like to know these countries has a very good minimum speed requirement and similar other things to protect these lowest slice customers. What is your view, and how they are protecting the interest of the consumers who fall in the lowest slice? Thank you.
I think this is one of the key point which keeps coming from a slicing and an open internet available for all, I would say. And the reality is every CSP does their network capacity planning according to that. And it is a continuous process. Because subscribers keep increasing, the data demand keeps increasing. So capacity planning, network planning, all these are inherent part of it. And there is also one good thing is, for example, if you make 10 slices in a network or a site, then it is not a fixed slice. These are variable. And practically, if one is full, the resources from other slices are available for the usage. So it keeps moving. And yes, when the entire site or a network is congested, I would say, then we need to start looking at our capacity planning guidelines and start looking towards more capacity building.
Actually, this capacity planning, these will be the ongoing thing. I have to protect the interest of the lowest slice customer on all the time. Capacity planning, other things are ongoing process. But how to make sure that this lowest slice customer get services of minimum quality all the time? That is important.
I would again link it to the network part, because ultimately we'll have to plan this. If you're seeing that there are multiple slices of different segments coming in, and then we have a less number of resources or less number of normal users onto it. So we will have to do a planning onto that part.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, again. I just wanted to make a...
So TVR, you can stay seated if you like.
Thank you, sir. Friends, point. And that any for a quantum of spectrum, for a given quantum of I think all engineers would agree on that. When that is finite, if you're going to take one saw as many as 84, 85 use cases also, there could be. But heavy users like FWA, like Brigadier Tandon pointed out, definitely the capacity would plummet. Because what are you talking of? In fixed broadband, wire broadband, USA, for example, is touching 700 GB per month. So it is going several fold that of mobile, 20 times, 15 times. That being the case, the finite resource is going to get impacted. That is why I'm saying the guaranteeing of the weakest, we put it very classically, guaranteeing of the weakest link gets the right service. I think. Hello. So guaranteeing, TRAI has to guarantee the weakest link.
Thank you, Mr. TVR.
That
That's quite insightful. You said TRAI must protect the weakest. Maybe we can seek some advice from Mr. Yukesh Srivastav on this aspect of FWA competing with the general users.
No, first of all, we are talking of number of slices. The number of slices have got different applications. Out of the very basic slices that low latency or MMTC or even a slice for security, these slices don't create capacity problem, you see, basically. The capacity problem will come when you have EMBB, total capacity being divided. And this is, as I said, this is taken care of by the network planning. Now, TRAI has one of the strictest quality of service requirement in the world, I should say. One of the strictest. And service providers are meeting those requirements as of now. And when the slices are created, obviously we'll meet that requirement also. Today, the per capita 5G, download is almost 35 GB. It is extremely high. So accordingly, network has been designed to meet those requirements. I will give you an example. Out of 22 circles, 18 circles, we have 100 megahertz carrier. And 8 circles, we have 130 megahertz carrier. So there's a lot of capacity that is there. And as TRAI is recommending more and more new spectrum bands for these applications of 5G and 6G, obviously the operators will have enough resources so that the general public internet browsing experience will not be affected.
Sir,
now,
thank you for that.
Said, sir, something about B2B slice. Now, B2B slice will be created. Once it is created for an enterprise, the pricing cannot be guaranteed. That there could be discrimination of pricing. For enterprising, even the TRAI regulation permits me for charging differentially and not disclosing. Okay, this is as per the existing tariff order, TTO.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. What I meant was in that TRAI has permitted maybe for the general business user now, but when you bring in network slicing, then it is creating a new scenario where within a slice, the businesses must get same terms and conditions. You were actually very involved in RIO and championing of that, so you would remember that. So that's very important to avoid discrimination. Number two, the regulator per se cannot go by general assurance that network planners will take care of it. He'll have to put in metrics to take care, to see that everybody follows the same. And that is going to put a tremendous burden on them because fundamental wave physics, I'm a simple student of physics, so fundamental wave physics tells me that you just cannot beat the law. yeah. So I'm a simple, I'm not a master, I'm a student.
Thank you, Mr. TVR. With that, we come to an end to this conversation. I think we have one more question here. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. So, with network pricing and with the examples of the security people availing it, so there is a good case to maybe reform the management in 800. Why would they not take a slice rather than have, you can actually refarm spectrum given for such entities. And
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tevatia. We take that as input. I think we have a question from the chairman also. Okay. So with that, we come to an end of this session. This was, one important message which we can gather from this discussion was that the network slicing should not cause any harm to the consumers. That's the bottom line. I must say it was a very fruitful, thought-provoking, and engaging conversation, and this has given a lot of food for thought to us. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, panelists. This was a great conversation here, and thank you, audience, for such an engaging conversation with us. Thank you.
Speakers, for such a wonderful session and insightful talk. As a token of our sincere appreciation, we now proceed with the presentation of mementos to our distinguished speakers and the moderator of the session. I request the moderator of the session, Shri Trivedi ji, to present the mementos to our speakers. First to Shri UK Srivastav ji. To Shri Umang Jindal ji. To Brigadier Anil Tandon ji. I would now like to request Shri Vivek Khare, Advisor TRAI, to present a memento to our session moderator, Shri Trivedi ji, as a token of appreciation. Thank you, sir, and the session speakers. Now I would like to invite all the speakers and moderator for a group photograph. I would again like to request Chairman TRAI and all the members, Mita sir, Tangirala sir, Bose sir, and Mishra sir, and all principal advisors to please join for a group photograph. Please give a huge round of applause to all our speakers. With this, we mark the end of today's technical sessions. We sincerely thank all our speakers, moderators, dignitaries, and participants for their valuable insights and contribution that made today's discussion truly enriching. Hope you have enjoyed the deliberations and had good takeaways. I would request the dignitaries, the invitees from the industries, guests, and TRA officers, deputy advisor, and above to proceed for lunch in the Brahmaputra lounge adjacent to the hall. For all other TRAI officials, lunch have been provided in Mahanadi Hall, room number 409. Thank you everyone for being part of today's event. Have a nice day.